Alrighty. Well, there we go here. Looking at a few properties. This here is a, regardless of the fact that's actually houses, over here, that's someone's shed. Holy smoke, looks like it's just about stuffed, I'd say. Give me a second here. Now what you saw there, it says residential land, but you scroll down, it actually says commercial. Zone commercial. Frickin' hell. 1,012 square metres. It's around about 100 metres by 100 metres, so that means like 102 yards by 102 yards, maybe 103 something, whatever. Now this is the next town up the road from where my sister lives. There, it's not too bad. You've got a few pubs. You got at least 2 banks, if not 3. Supermarkets. Really good fishing, brilliant fishing, because it's got a huge river running through the middle of it all. Fairly huge. I'll show you this. Now this one's recently sold, which is a little bit of a bugger, I suppose. Someone went well anyway. Property price, well, this mortgage repayments thing they got built into this page. No, it actually wasn't 15,000. The place sold for 11,500. $55 a month estimated monthly payments based on an advertised price. Well, actually it wasn't 15,000. It was 11,500. Oh, I tell you what. Cheap land up there. You'll be sweating trying to cover that $55 a month. But I mean, that's the sort of joint where you could go and, you could get yourself a... Well, I mean, those joints, I've seen places like that are grabbed and leased out, they connect the power on, but they lease them out as trucking yards. And I've seen this when I was out looking for a job a number of years ago. And they had this one that's, yeah, I was going from one joint to the next, and things weren't great. I don't know if it was sort of post-GFC or what was going on, but, went around to a lot of joints and it wasn't looking too good. And I remember walking into this trucking joint, and the guy's on the phone, and in fact, I just said, bugger it, he's only driving big rigs. My licence isn't for big rigs, it's only for trade trucks. And he was on the phone, you wouldn't believe it, this guy was on the phone for 10 minutes, 12 minutes, arguing with the real estate agent because they wanted to jack the price up. And honest to God, it was a vacant block that had the electricity connected, and they had, I believe, it was an ATCO hut he was in, so they'd supplied their own ATCO huts, and all they had was a bloody power connection, a bunch of gravel, and a friggin' front gate, and that was it. And the poor guy's there, going on for arguing the toss for about 12 minutes with this real estate agent who's trying to jack the price up another bloody $80 a week or something like this it was. And he was saying, well, look, we're not too sure if we're going to stay if you're going to jack that price up, and keep in mind they're going to have trouble finding anyone else to fulfill it because there's no building on it except these damn ATCO huts, which I believe were owned by the same damn trucking company that was using it as a trucking yard. I'm not saying they're short of land around this place because there's plenty of farms and shit around that joint, but, that's the sort of thing you could use it for on a whim, fairly quickly. But, realistically, you can throw another $5,000 into a shed or something like that, and put a shed on there and, someone could have some use for it. You could put a larger commercial building on it, and it could be like a tyre place or something, just something like that. Maybe some mechanic who's a one-man band. If you had a larger joint with a concrete floor, something like that. But very cheap. I've been trying to look all around these different areas, even the shithole Nowherevilles around here. Astronomical. Absolutely astronomical. There's places like where I had my last property, that cost me $32,000, and I bought that in 2008 for 32 grand, for 33, and I sold it for 32. Yeah. There is another town that's even further out than that town I was at, and that was 7.5 acres, 7.4 acres. There's another town that's even 3 hectares, basically. There's another town that was even further out, and I drove past, and they had a frickin' house up for sale on a block. This is probably back, I don't know, probably 2010, something like this, maybe 2011. And this house on a block was up for sale for something like about, frickin' hell, it was like about 45 grand or something. So I look in there, what have they got? Vacant blocks for 77 in that same Nowhereville that was even further out than my first property. And I'm sitting there going, holy smoke. I found one joint, but it wasn't a joint. It was a bloody caravan / camper trailer with a, awning, like a little veranda in it. And I'm pretty sure it was a long drop toilet because you could see a little blooming thing out the side there, and no power, no nothing, rainwater tank, fully blooming gas cooking. I don't know if it even had a bloody shower, and $65,000 they wanted for it. But they're going to include the caravan, all couple thousand, all $3 grand of the bloody caravan. So that's probably all the caravan was worth. I mean, you can get ones that have been de-roadworthy, they've got a sticker on them so they can never be used on the road again. Ones that have been involved in mishaps, but they're not always rollovers. Some of them break. I've seen one with a broken tow hitch that got wiped out purely because of that. There's nothing wrong with it, just the tow hitch cracked off and bang, that was it. The authorities whacked a thing on it, so any chassis number, that chassis number cannot be re-registered. You could put it on a tilt tray truck and put it out there, and that was going for frickin' peanuts. The thing was only about 3 years old, mind you, so what about another $3,000 bloody caravan sitting on a friggin', on a block of land at 65 grand. I'm looking at all this stuff. There's towns that are near where I am now, and they got a frickin' vacant block that's an acre, and the damn thing, it's over $500,000, you took 550 something, and it's like, 600 something. It's like, fuck off. This is unreal. I was talking to another girl when I was working at the nursery. That would have been 2008. She bought a place, only like 3 months after I bought my place, and she got one in the actual town, the white trash end of town. She paid $99,000 for it. Now you go further out in the country, you get a vacant block, and it's over $500,000. And it's like, holy smoke, you got to drive like fucking more than 20 miles to really get to any suburbia. And, you could have, 10 years ago, you could have bought fucking 5 or 6 houses for the same price in suburbia. You just think, what is going on, But lo and behold, and I've been talking to my sister a bit about some of the prices of the houses up there. They saw one up there that had a demolition order on it, which of course the brother-in-law could probably deal with that, but the dickhead had gone to do renovations and he'd ripped out friggin' load-bearing walls and all that. Of course, the building inspector found out about all this shit somehow, and they put a demolition order on it. But you can get that frozen, and that's, the brother-in-law sort of, that's what he deals with, this sort of, re-engineering these things that have been stuffed up, and, he'd probably just, get you to rebuild the load-bearing walls and stuff like that. But the guy had also ripped out all the drywall inside, so you're walking around, there was a bunch of bloody framing inside. Asked him about that. That was $10,000 to block the house, the whole damn lot. But of course the guy thought, he's just given up on it because he's got a demolition order. Of course there's ways and means, and that's what, my brother-in-law specialises in, but of course he's not going to let you get away with anything that's not on the books, because being a certified building engineer, he can't, sign off on a frickin' death trap, because then his ass is on the line, and according, and probably his licence accordingly. So, but yeah, there's some that are sort of in here that ain't too bad. I must say that they also, in their town, right in the centre of the town, is a pub on one side and a park on the other, and they got a block of land next door to the pub or across the road from the pub. $3,000. $3,000. Vacant block, power lines right in front of it, and the beauty of New South Wales is it's not like Victoria, where they have fully and completely privatised the power system. So, like me, I'm looking down the barrel at probably around about $50,000 to get the power on. Over there, it's still government funded. There'd be a set price, the same price. It's probably $1,000 or $2,500, but everybody has the same set price because it's still government funded. They really are getting a bit wriggly on it, and they want to move to a privatised system in New South Wales as well, or at least partially privatised. And I think if you ever bought a place in New South Wales, I don't give a shit about anything else or whatever's on there. I think the first thing you do is at least get the power connected. Get a friggin' garden shed you can't even swing a cat in. Some fucking, 12 by 8 foot shed, and just get the power connected to it before you get kicked years later for a massive price sort of thing. And I think that's something you'd want to do if you bought any land up here, is just get a connection. Even if you hook the power up and you disconnect it a month later, just so long as you got that power box, and it's just a matter of, they come out for a couple of $100, they reconnect it. But here's another one here. Oh, sure, man. I think you might be, this is one that's recently sold. Oh, yeah. This is part of the river, but this might be a feed-in river, because this one's way too small compared to the one in the main town. But I reckon this might be one of the creeks that feeds into it or something, one of the smaller rivers. Really makes me wonder how, if they're selling a place, they've got public signs on a place. But long and short of it is, she sold for $5,000. So there you go. It's no big deal to get. Holy smoke! This is very close to the middle of town. Actually, that is the main river. I can see from the Google Earth map here, they've actually widened the river. That'd be through the main bit of town, and it looks like it thins out again. Or it might naturally be like that. It just goes wider, but that's on a bit of a thinner part. Yeah, that's right smack on the river there, and that is so close to the centre of town, it's not funny, actually. That's pretty good. Lowest price, lowest price, so you can see the frickin' town name on the map anyway. Block close to the river in the local business zone, drastically reduced price, motivated seller. Anyway, it's not too far from all the Snowy Mountain region. Cheapest block we have on our books. Boom, boom, boom. Ah, once again, tells me. Estimated price of $15,000, 55 grand a month. There's quite a chance that, long and short of it is that 15,000 is the lowest this calculator thing is set to. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. 620 metres from a school. You wouldn't believe it. That's pretty good. That is very good. Some of these are the sold ones. So, but this is all surrounded by farmland and there's not a great deal of other stuff. And you wouldn't believe it, there's another one only just up the road, $30,000. Dirt cheap dirt that's listed. Yeah, it's good to get a feel for what it is, but I mean, a lot of this stuff my sister probably could have told me anyway. I sort of wonder how much it'd cost to whack a tiny home on this, which is another question the brother-in-law might be facing. There's another one here. This is a frickin' ripper. It's actually quite a nice. Imagine looking down on all that. Looking down on the rest of the township. And you're not going to believe this. They want 45 for it. And vendor has generally offered to provide vendor finance. You couldn't bloody make it up, could you? That's when... Oh, that's a fair size too. That is quite a size. 1,602 metres square. So that's more than 100 metres by 100 metres. And you're right sort of up on the height of the town there too. What it sort of looks like is, from some of the photos, he's actually got, it was like a join to his block, and he's like subdivided off the side of his property. So you've got enough to get a driveway down one side, and it looks like you've got the back half of his property, and he's cut off a bit of the side of his place. So almost like a yin and a yang sort of thing, where, you know, he's got the front part and you've got the back part, but he's put a little strip up the left side for your driveway to go in, and he's actually fenced it and everything. It's only sheep fencing, but at least, you know, there's a line in the sand as to, you know, where the boundary is. There's one that I saw that's not terribly far from me, and it's got like a shed or two, but then you got this big patch of bare earth, and I think it's actually been a demolished house or a burn down. I reckon it may well have been a burn down that's burned to the ground, because you can tell there's the grass and there's this big black patch in the middle, or fairly dark. I can't tell if it's just been demolished and that's the colour of the soil, or it's actually burnt, because I couldn't get big enough photos to come up. But still got two sheds, one small and one fairly good, probably a little bit bigger than a one-car garage on the back of it, and that was like 65 grand, but that's something, you know, that'd have the frickin' power sitting right there. That's something you'd whack another house on and just keep going, but that was 65 grand for that block. I was just surprised they had anything, but I reckon either a demolition or a burn down, or one or the other. Oh, here's another one. This one's... Actually, this is where they had a major frickin' train crash near this joint. Now, I don't think that's the neighbour's house by the looks of it. Basically, she's running out of... Kerang's where it's been sold from, but it's near Kerang, Swan Hill area. Now, Kerang was known for a absolute cracker of a train crash with a truck, big rig, no trailer on the back, and the dumb bastard rode right up onto it as the thing was going ripped open the side of 3 carriages and killed like 20 people or something. This is a few years back. This has now spurred oh man, I wouldn't be surprised if it was like $1 billion effort to get rid of all level crossings that they can get rid of and try and put overpasses. And they have gone ballistic trying to build all these overpasses. And one of the ones they've done in Melbourne itself is they've gone ahead and actually built, it looks as though they're putting the train line on an overpass over the top of everyone else in a lot of these areas or something. They're going nuts with it, and it's cost them truckfuls, and they've been going on it for years, but the train crash that was near this place was the game changer. And I mean, they've been doing this for more than 10 years, or at least 10 years, you know, that they've been doing it all, but it was all caused by a train crash near this joint. But it's 41,000. Let's have another little spin down. Holy fucking shit. No, you do actually get the house with it. Holy smoke. 4,047 metre block. That is phenomenal. That's like 200 metres by 200 metres. That is phenomenal. Power, town water, septic tank, well-established trees, project for the serious renovator, or perfect location to build a new home. So you do get the old shit house with it. Oh yeah, 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom. Land size, that's only an acre. Yeah. Well, that's not nothing to snub really. An acre's not too bad. Yeah, 1 bathroom, 1 toilet, blah, blah. You can't expect much, but... So that isn't the neighbour's house, that is the actual house you buy with it, 41,000. And if I click the right, I think it's this bit. Oh, shit! Fucking hell. Oh, mamma mia. Well, that's a nice wood stove, but I think she's got a few issues with a bit of soot. Motherfucker, looks like the ceiling's about to cave in. Even the lemon light looks like she's about fucked. I'd really be questioning if there wasn't a demolition order on the bastard. Well, I'm not going to say she's not too bad, but I'm just going to put it like this. It's got a more, well, I couldn't necessarily say more consistent ceiling than mine, but she isn't much worse. But in all honesty, my house wouldn't be a great deal better than this one. You know, if I cut the shit and you actually saw good lighting inside my house, you know, my house probably wouldn't be a great deal better than this. But that's actually not too bad. I mean, you re-wallpaper that, fucking give it a good paint, probably re-tile. That looks like it's could do with a bit of maybe a new sink there. That's not too bad. Holy shit. I think I can zoom in. Let's zoom in. Woo! She will need some more weatherboards. Now, I can tell you as a matter of fact that is worse weatherboards than my house. Holy smoke. Well, yeah. But I mean, it's actually got an AC unit there. Power on, water on. Looks like it was a TV antenna up there. Now it's trying to sell me a frickin' loan, isn't it? Of course it is. Yeah, you never know if you never go. I think I'd rather go to tropical Queensland than go to that joint. Yeah, little old house, that's... But anyway, this is one of these things that, you know, I've have talked about it at times, and you start itching a little bit, and, you know, you start thinking, well, maybe I should think along lines of this sort of stuff. There's another place It's not too far from a big citrus growing area. Well, Mildura. There's another town that's just down the road from Mildura, and that they repossess the local government. They get no one pays the property taxes, and so they sell these places off. And that $3,000 block I was saying my sister got, that was one of those. Miss the property taxes, they repossess it to cover your property taxes. And that's how they got that block for $3,000. But all honesty, it probably isn't really worth that much even with a normal private sale anyway. But this is the way it goes, and some of these opportunities wave their nose under you and wave themselves under your nose, and you take the bait. I heard of somebody who bought a lot of property in Hobart in Tasmania, and they bought it all in the 90s, and they said, oh, honestly, we should have bought even more. 20 years on, the price, 2.5-fold what they'd paid, and this is the thing, it become a real haven for the wealthy greenies, particularly the retired greenie types, like your Seattle type people, and those who are sort of moving out of California and going to Seattle, your richer leftist types who like a nice tree-filled sort of a surrounding countryside, and that sort of jacked the price up of Hobart, which was originally worth nothing, and that's where my grandfather grew up. So what are we looking at here? There's another quarter-acre lot that's not completely nowhere, but it's 15,000. Shit almighty, I'd need to get the chainsaw out for that joint. Here we go. This is another one. These are vacant lots in that same town I was talking about, where they had. This is just down the road from Mildura. 5 fully serviced allotments, in other words, fully on grid, ready to build on, golf club at your doorstep. You're looking about, I don't know, quarter-acre to half-acre or somewhere around that. I'm seeing some numbers that may well be smoking crack. That's the national average. It's not really saying how much they're actually worth. Just click in here and see. It just sort of says contact agent. It doesn't really... Holy smoke, it is literally against a golf course. Actually, I believe it may well be a golf course that has been subdivided. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Yeah, because we've got other places that are, 45,000, 58,000. Yeah. This national average business that comes up is really not exactly guiding her in the right direction. It's a wonder anyone's even bothering with a blooming joint. Like this was, they, in 1 year they grabbed 5 lots in this town and repossessed them for lack of payment on property taxes. And they went, I think they went for about 25,000 or something like that, which I thought at the time was cheap, and when you actually look into it, it's really not that cheap. But here you go, vacant land, to build or invest, 58,000. So you see, that might have been a stupid idea, but I mean, that's probably almost, it wouldn't be too much higher than inflation. You wouldn't have really made much more money if you'd, if you had just gone and put your money in a blooming term deposit anyway. There we go, repo. I think that's what it means, rate recovery auction. Yes, that is it, yes. Here we call property taxes rates, so rate recovery auction. So they, yeah, that one, 53,000. So they probably have, like, they give you a certain amount of years to pay the rate, and they've probably just dragged it on, not paying it for, like, frickin' who knows. Probably more than 10 or 12 years. This one does actually have a shed on the back of it. Oh, whoa. Great opportunity with this project to salvage the fire-damaged backpackers hostel, or simply demolish and plan a new venture. So this is more than just... Yeah, this, I remember this. There was a joint here that was... I don't know if we're going to see... I don't know if this is... That's the fire damage joint. Well, holy smoke, I think it might be. Holy shitballs. You know what backpacker means? Bloody many rooms. Oh, that'd be the shed. It would be nice to see a bit more of the inside of the place, but there may be like a one of these things where you've, well, got to go to someone like my brother-in-law to, you know, because he's also got a, well, you know, that's more for designing buildings. He's got a qualification in fire engineering, but that's to stop new buildings from burning down, and they're designed a certain way. But really speaking, I'm sure there might be some real entanglements with the fact this has caught on fire, like real troubles getting insurance, or you'll get insurance after a building engineer signs that all the things have been done, plus you get it certified, you know, that you've rewired it. You can prove you've rewired the whole place or something like that, and then you might get a chance. But that's even for a burnout joint, that's probably not too bad. I mean, well, you know, considering there's probably frickin' half a dozen rooms, you know, it's probably not too bad at all. But these ones are ones that are sold. Yeah. The bottom feeders. It's all I can afford to bloody buy would be on the bottom of the stack. Yeah. Another vacant lot. 45 grand. Yeah. Anyway, you know what I'm getting up to in my days off.